Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. I like to talk about tonight is the history of the ukulele. The ukulele, right, dates back to 1879, and back in the day, there was this like the Portuguese to travel a small light guitar called a machete to the Hawaii, right, at the time, and one thing I do know, right, and one other things that back in the day they didn't use, well, at the time right, they didn't have like nylon that we have now, because nylon right, was developed to like hundreds of years later. I think it was. I'm not too sure. So what they used to do is they used to use animal uh, like intestines and guts as well to make. It's a bit disgusting, right? But that's what they used at the time. Um, this is this is a ukulele, right? This is has uh, nylon. Uh, but what is the the um, the music instrument that the Portuguese brought back to Hawaii? Was like a small guitar thing, like a machete. I don't know how big it is, right? Because I've never seen them before. But and and ever since, right, I've been interested with ukulele now. I've been learning a lot of songs. Like my favorite is right is like to play. I like to learn the the famous everyone knows him, George Formby, and in his time he made a lot of films right from the 1930s to 1940s I think it was, and he made a lot of songs. He made right? Like Cleaning Doors and Lean on the Lamppost, all the great ones that he right at the time, in the time that he was when he was alive, and in his music has been a lot ever since. And he taught himself to play the ukulele, right? He didn't go to school, right? He taught himself, and when he was young, he went somewhere right in Lancashire to a theatre where he met a young lady, right, who I won't say they were married to each other, but he did unfortunately met a person right with ukulele. I don't know if he saw it at the time, but he did give it and he showed him a few love, the chords for it as well. So he has some lessons about it at the time. So he learned the Banjalele, right? I do have one down here. It's not like the one he was because he was more. But you can't get them anywhere on eBay or Amazon, and I've tried anyway. It depends how much you want to spend anyway. So, if you enjoy playing it, right, go ahead, right. There's nothing, there's no stopping you anyway, and you, you have to be like, I've done this now for 10 weeks on one day. I know it's not much of a big difference, right? But I enjoy it, right? And the reason why I do it, right, it's because of my autism, right? I like to talk about now. Um, is just that uh, sometimes I find it hard to struggle with change. Well, so do we all, but it's life in the end, right? Sometimes, like example, like I don't like change very much because like of my or being autistic or with ADHD, I have to sort of like accept that that change is going to happen, right? I'm now 41, right? And with all this deal with my support, right? And right, and stuff happening around me all the time. Like recently, like I've just finished college. I was studying a course, right? Called it's called Hair and Beauty. It's with like a program, but there's another course I was doing on top as well called in cooking. It was on a Friday, afternoon. I and I'm a quite a good cook, right? Anyway, but I wouldn't recommend working in a restaurant because I don't have those qualities in it. But I do have a lot of. But I have done other things like in the past, like I've done me. Well, I've done some work experiences. Like I worked in a cafe, right? Work experience. I did horticulture for 4 years. I don't claim to be like I know everything about it, but I know how to plant a seed, like a seedling or a seedling. A seedling, right, is a baby plant that you plant in the ground, or you can put it in plants, so you can then grow into fully grown like flowers, or if it's vegetables, right? You put them in the ground, right? But it depends what you grow really. But you have to follow the instructions, about the how to water and that, right? And how much the sun, the shade, and all that. So on some of that track, because the school was that right, it was a residential. That's what I went there for. I went for 5 years, right, from the age of 14 to 19, right, and that's of it. And when I was there, uh, I didn't just do things like that track. I did like activities as well. I used to enjoy line dancing. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Like country line dance. Like, cause I like country western music. I like pop music as well and all sorts. Because for me at my age now, right, I'm going to try any music that I like. I may not like it, but I listen to it anyway. But it's something that I never tried before. So, uh, and the trip I make us right is that um, with someone like who has it, I can be quite clever to learn new things. Like, like for example, like I did the Jiu-Jitsu award one time when I was young, right, and I didn't have support as such because I did things by myself, and running for 3 years, but I did quite a bit really. Anyway, like I did courses at college, right, which I did hotel, but during the night, but I did almost other things as well. But in the night time, I did music about 2 or 3 times a week. I even did football training. I usually enjoyed that. But unfortunately, that the Duke World Drive was more important because I had to learn because I was getting to my goal award. But the mantra, I've done my goal award now, and I did that back in 2007, I think it was. And but I think I did the exhibition before that in 2006, I think it was. And after that, right, I did the Princess Trust. I spent 12 weeks right learning about um, first aid and all that. It was interesting, really. But I liked if you cut yourself and that, try anyway. So anyway, going back to what I was saying about the ukulele, right? Um, between I'm sort of like moving back and forth, right? Anyway, so you don't get confused what I'm saying. So all my activities, right, for the years, I had to find hobbies what I interested in, but I know that my hobbies tend to wave back and forwards, and that's because my ADHD. See, so I'm on track, and I've been doing ukulele. I've learned a lot of songs right ever since. Right, and I've got a lot. I've got, and I don't know how I don't know how much to keep up with them, but like you can tell what your favorite sort of music you like to learn, right, and see if I can learn it myself, right. Anyway, for example, I got like "Dance in the Moonlight" or um, "Over the Rainbow." Well, that "Over the Rainbow," right, it was sung by I think it was sung by Judy Garland. Um, in the Wizard of Oz. You know that it's somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. Right, it's and all the dreams come true. It's not always those lines anyway, but it's part of the song. So and the film goes back to 1930s. I think it was 34. I'm not too sure. So that's that. And also, I've got the Wellerman Sea Shanty. There's a bit of history behind this, right, which I've just learned just recently now. The Wellerman's brothers, right, was Wellerman's, right, they were called, basically, there were uh, two brothers, right, from the UK, went to live in Australia back in the 1800s. And what happened is that there were cargo men because they used to have sugar tea and rum. Sugar tea and rum as well. Some of on those lines, and there's actually a song right that was sung by Nathan Evans right. It's true. If you look on the internet, right, Weatherman's Sea Shanty, right, Australia, it would bring up the history about it. And what they used to do is back in the day is they used to tonguing right is what they used to do afterwards. 'Cause it was part of the way because at the time they used to use whale blubber to make oil. They used to boil it down to make oil. That's what it was. It's been banned now due to the laws of now anyway. So and that was it really. But they were just they were brothers. I don't know what their names were. I have done some research, but into that at the moment right anyway. So if you listen to the song, right, the whole story is right there. Is there's a thing called tonguing. I can't remember what that's right by now. What the tonguing means due to what they used to do back in the day in 1800s, and also Feel the Gold that was sung by Sting. So there was a lot of songs. Basically, I've done a lot of songs like Pink Panther. Well, Pink Panther right is from a long film, which is called Pink Panther. To be honest, basically anyway. And I think there was a cartoon person called Inspector Clouseau. It looked French. I think it was French or something like that. Right? He used to have a mustache, right, with a hat and a jacket. Basically, it looked like a detective, really. I think that's who it was. I think it was the detective. So, and Hotel California. There's actually a hotel in California, right? Well, that's something right. I can't what it's called. I think it's a small village, right? I've never been there before, right? I wish I had to go, right? If I was flying, I flown once, and I was terrified. But I didn't go that far. I went to Dublin, right? And that was interesting. Anyway, uh, and there's a lot of riffs that I learned. So I'll show you right now. There are riffs that you can learn, right? Uh, but you can use it on the banjo lily, right? And a banjo lily is a lot like ukulele, except for the sound. It sounds louder because it has a resonator and it has a rounder body, so it's like that sort of shape. Uh, you know, I've got one here I can show you. Uh, this is that's a banjo lily, right? It sounds the mantra is tuning, so see me. So it sounds the sounds a lot different to most of the of like. So that's the sound of the banjo lily. This is the sound of the ukulele. So of other things, right? Like Stand by Me was sung by Benny King. Uh, I don't know very much about the sound of the module. There's so much for me to learn at the module anyway when you're learning instruments. This way shoes was sung by Elvis Presley, but he's a legend, right? He's one of the greats, right, of his time, right, where he was in a lot of films like Viva La Vegas. Um, I can't remember many of them because it was before my father was born, right? And I have seen all of his films when I was much younger anyway. I don't know how long it was, but I remember seeing a few in the past. And luckily, there's a new film that's just come out. I don't know if it's come out now, unless it's come out very soon. Right? It's on this. I don't know if it's a film or a TV. I'm not sure, but it's based on Elvis Presley. But you can find anything like that on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, right, and type in Elvis Presley history and that's if you're interested, though, and you know that everyone's interests are very different, and that's my other one. Like Three Little Birds, right? That was sung by Bob Marley. I think he has a brother or son, right? Um, who makes music. I think a lot like his father. I think we're not too sure anyway, because I don't know much about that. I'll be there for you. Um, this one here, that's one of my favorites because I even have the television on DVD anyway. And it's called Friends, and it's ever so funny when you watch them. I haven't seen them all the way through, right? But it was some of the Rembrandts back in the 90s. But I know it was the 90s or the 80s, but at some point in the past, right, that Rembrandts made the soundtrack to Friends. Knocking on Heaven's Door. That was sung by Bob Dylan, I think it was. Uh, I like to play some songs right now, but I'm on track. It's all time consuming, so I'll do that another time. Can't help falling in love with you. That was sung by UB40. That was. I don't have all the chords right in the morning track. I'm sort of like in the process of learning new chords every day. Like this one here. Uh, if you make an E minor, right? If you move it down two, right, I think that's called an F sharp or F sharp minor. I think it's called. So there's that one, and then that this one here is called a D7, and 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 this one here, right, you can see that's called an E7, right? So it sounds different. So if you and then a D7, so different sort of sound. So basically, I've done a lot of songs. There is one right that I don't understand. Right, there was a song right that was sung by a band in the 1970s. I think it was called. I think it was Led Zeppelin. I think it was. I'm not too sure. And it was called "Stairway to Heaven." And a lot of people might in the whole world, right, might would have heard of it. I don't doubt that ever, because everyone must have heard it over the years, right? Um, and we know now that I found out that it was banned in guitar shops because there was a joke behind the whole thing, right? So, um, so that's what I know really. But it uh, as I quite remember saying that. I remember what I said a few days ago back, right, that to one of my supporters, right, that there's a clip right in Wayne's World where where Wayne and Garth Wright and Cassandra went into a music shop, right? And I think it was a rental shop that sells like music instruments as such. And Wayne went to buy a 24 fret whammy bar. It was a Fender Stratocaster, and it looked and it came over. Right, he does that try. It said, and he calls it Excalibur. Like, right, and that and he tried on that, but it was that after that try, he was trying to play the song to the riff right to Stairway to Heaven, and it was told in the film that he was allowed to play that track, and I don't stand by for it because it's from what I've heard right that like my mum right, I won't say her name or right, but she's old enough to know the song because it is a great song to listen to. I've never heard it myself right properly as yet, but I will do it some point track because I am learning so anyway, so I have to know what the song, what the song is, and listen to it. So, and also the morning track for tonight, I've been trying to learn this one. It's called Maggie May. It was sung by Rod Stewart. I don't know I don't think he's been in the band, but I know he's been. If he's been, I know he's been. I think he's been a solo artist right for a lot of years. I don't know. I don't know what song he's made, right, but I know that he made Maggie May, right? So anyway, going back to what I was saying, right? This is all why I'm doing everything what I do, right? From because it keeps me occupied, right? Because being autistic, right? Sometimes like people like myself, right, who have or who are autistic, right? I'm not saying that everyone's the same. Everyone's different, right? By race, colour, and all that, right? Which I respect very much, right? Because I've had a friend, right, who lives in Sheffield somewhere at some point in the past, right? And we got on well, like a house on fire. It's a figure of speech, really. We got on well, I meant. So, and 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 basically what I'm trying to say is that what I'm doing is because of my difficulties, I have to sort of keep myself busy, and I'm sort of like helping out. So if you have something to do, right, and you're like, and you know, if, have you know, if you have no, I can't recall now, right. I do know the track. It's just that you know, this is how I can explain it, right? It's like when someone comes in the room and you're talking, you might forget what you're saying. So you might have like sort of like concentration or like of what you say to another person and you forget what you're saying anyway, what I'm trying to say anyway. So this is why I'm doing this right, right, is to sort of keep myself occupied because of my ADHD as well. So that's all I can say really. But when I do get a bit, because I suffer with, with depression and anxiety, uh, it's there are the conditions that come with being autistic, uh, and also that is being autistic, right? Is not bad. It's not a bad thing. It's just that people who are not autistic, right, they might do something similar. It's just that being autistic, right, it's not. You don't. It's not like it's not just that you're stupid or something, right? It's just that you have things that you do, but it's a different ability. So it's not a bad thing, right? Right? It's that you do things different, and I understand that perfectly well because I do things different all the time, like with my money and that, right? So that's all I can say for the time being now. I need a drink of water because my voice is getting a bit dry. So, if you, I do have other videos you'd like to see, please smash my comments, press my, give me a thumbs up, right? And also, smash my subscribers, please. So until at a later date, I will say good night, and I'll see you at some point. Bye.